Weekly planning should be simple, productive, and duplicatable. So we're going to show how we took those two spreads and turned them into these spreads. And you could duplicate them over and over. So here we go. So sometimes you could start with the inspiration, and this color palette, actually, there are no stickers to go with this. So all I'm using are the resources and tools inside of Goodnotes. But that color palette is going to be the inspiration. So I use the color feature, and I'm going to use the tape function. So now the tape function was normally set so you can like hide, as you're studying, but we found so many other uses in the planning community. So I personally use it to block out time. I'm going to show you, and use them as labels. Now in my monthly view, what I do is, like, if I have meetings or if there's events that I need to visually see stand out, then I'll do this color blocking, which you just saw me kind of highlight using the shapes tool. Of course, picking the color that I wanted from the color scheme. So you can use that color scheme as well, for, if it's personal, business, whatever it may be. You can also, so sometimes I'll just do the shapes tool like that, and then I'll pull out the middle. So I'll just lasso and pull out the middle like I did previously, or I'll just leave it highlighted like that is right there. Duplicating it, in my mind, I already know, where certain things need to go. So you, of course, this way that when another event comes up, especially if you have your month color coded, then you can kind of see it really fast. So I'm putting like the meetings, so I know that the 18th and 19th there's meetings. If I have to travel, I'm putting the travel dates on there as well. So I'm blocking all of these things out. Again, I'm just using the tape tool. I like that little honeybee. Yeah, so I'm giving a couple hints on what the future planner is going to look like in the inspiration. It's the bee. There you go. All right, so coming soon near you. And I may, put them in just a couple places for decorative purposes. Sometimes I use stickers. Sometimes I really don't have time for stickers, but I just wanted to show you. I think I got this, downloaded this off of Creative Fabrica, where I, purchase, where you can purchase like a monthly license. I have a monthly license that I personally use to purchase things. Now, what I just did there is I took a screenshot. I'm going to go back and show how I did that. Because, when you're in the monthly view, you'll have like these sections that are from the previous month. So that's a great place. You could do a couple things here, and I probably need to do a video on what to do with that blank space. Here, I'm just going to put a quote. I'm trying to see if this works or not, but I think what I ended up doing is not doing that. I just used a white space to block it out. But you could use it just like that. Maybe put your goal for the month there. All I did was lasso to blank space in the planner, so it has the same background. So in this case, the white space. And I'm just lining it up. I just copied it when I did the lasso, took a screenshot, and that's where I got. So now I can go and put a quote. So I think I have it on here where I grabbed a quote from my phone, and there it is right there. I'm just going to change the font on it, make it look pretty real quick, change the color on it, and that's pretty much it. Again, using all the resources that are in here. So you can resize. Notice that it went towards the back, so you just have to tap it again and do arrange and bring it to the front or send it to the back. The reason why it looks wonky like that is because of the line. So the automatic lining over in the text area where you can, center, left adjust, right adjust, and again, just recoloring it real quick and situating it, just kind of how you want it. And here's how I tell people, this is how I learned how to digital plan. I learned how to digital plan by watching other people digital plan. All right, so this was from a previous video. I didn't like those lines. And after I started using that shapes tool a little bit more, I'm like, okay, here's what we can really do with this. So I'm using the shapes tool to do the dates. So all I'm going to do is pick a font that I like. I think I ended up going back and changing the font. But finding a font you like, again, you just do it one time, align it one time. And once you align it to the size that you want, Then you just adjust it and you just copy paste. That's it, copy paste, which is lasso, copy, and then paste. And then I'm just double tapping in and just rewriting using the scribble function, and then just going in and of course changing. Yeah, I did end up changing the font. It was like too thick or something. I do like my spreads to look clean, but once again, this may look like a lot of work, but I do this one time, and after that I'll show you how I duplicate this and I'm done. Like even to the point where I block out time block out meetings, so that way when I'm planning, especially if I'm planning a couple weeks in advance, it's already there and I don't have to set those. So again, I'm just using the scribble function, double tapping in there with my Apple Pen and just changing the dates. Changing the day. Then also real quick, I just, what did I do here? Oh, this is the part that I wanted to, let me show you a little trick on putting your monthly calendar. So go back to the year at a glance inside the planner, lasso that, and I probably should use the new lasso feature, which is square. I lassoed that and took a screenshot of it. What it did is took a screenshot of June. Isn't that awesome? And I just placed that in there. So you could, use the border. I just use the top and bottom border. And then you can highlight the week that you're in. Now for lines, so I started using these as the lines within the week as a guide. And then once I got them the way I wanted them, it was just copy paste. And then I decided, instead of trying to figure out the spacing, just put them in here, line them up the way that you want them. Again, so the key about being productive is, or being organized is also being productive. So once I find something I like, I lasso it and I save it as an element. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm using that as a title label. I'm using this as bullet points so that fits in there perfectly. And you can go in and put a title as well. I think I made some more. Yeah, that's what it was. You can make more, adjust it. And then, of course, just did a couple adjustments on that. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to make the second checklist on here. So the second checklist, I'm using the color. So that gray color. So I'm just lassoing, take a screenshot, paste, it's going to give me this block. And so I'm going to just resize it to fit inside there. And it doesn't have to be like this rectangle. Like this is just, with sharp edges, we have it in there with round edges. But I kind of like how it does that because it gives it almost like a framed look. And then again, I'm just going to use the tape function to make a label. And then this time, I'm just going to use the regular drawing function, like the draw and hold, to make straight lines. And I'm going to use the weekly schedule lines as a guide. And once I have one down, it's just copy paste. Then copy 3 at a time. And literally, like, done. Right? So it's not me going and making all these different lines. I just get the first 3 and then I just move them over. Now what I did there is I lassoed it and then I saved it as an element. And I'm going to go back and show that more in detail here. All right, so I just used the pen function and made a dot. Literally, all of these colors are based off of that color palette. I just made the dot and resized it. And once I got the dot the size I wanted, so this is like a quick checklist. Again, I'm not using any stickers. I'm just using the elements that are inside Goodnotes and being creative with that. That's the other thing I like about digital planning is you don't have to use all the stickers. And then here I can change the color palette or the colors overall because I've already saved the color palette. So you can use that section. This is something new that I just started doing is I like kind of the bubbles. I like bubbles and octagons and just wait for the process. I'm going to go in and change the colors because remember I got the color palette. That's where I put my links. So I have links that go to the budget very fast. I have links that go to my devotional fast. And because of Goodnotes and Noteshelf both having them, I'll put it over there in that corner. Or if you have like a habit tracker, or if you have important dates, or if you want to put a quote over there, you can do that too. But that's where I put all my links at. So I'm doing the same thing for Wednesday through Saturday. Just copy paste. I probably could have copied that whole section and did that, and then same thing with the bottom. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to block off. So that's a hour and a half block. And when you are in the shapes mode, you can tap on the lines and you can adjust them. So if maybe if you went outside the lines, so for those who are really type A, you can adjust them. I mean, I still adjust them, but once I have one, I don't need to make another one. I just copy paste. Usually, anytime I do an appointment or a meeting, it's a half hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. But if you got to block out more time, you just block out more time. So that is also making another label, which it didn't work. It needed to be thinner. That's what I do like about the shapes tool, is you can make it thinner. So this is just me blocking out meetings or appointments and then going back and recolor coding them, because I know like the time. So that way, once I do this once, again, I just do this one time, and then all I'm doing is saving this as an element, and it's a wrap. You don't even have to do all of this, honestly. I just do it because I'm a color code person. I need to see visually. Like I know like from 5 to 6 a.m. that's my devotional time. So I just block it out. And again, you can be creative and all that. I just keep things pretty simple. I do use this center margin like to visually also say, the time blocking, like it's going to be from 7. You can also, I've actually written in there as well, like if I'm doing a Pomodoro, that I'll block out time to do it. I may not necessarily have exactly what I'm doing during that time, but I'll use that space to block out the Pomodoro. Or you can use it to do a label if you don't want to put a label on it. Actually, I've started doing that more recently in that area where you can say meeting, in that section. I'll do like or have somebody from the team do like a quick short reel or something like that on it. But again, this is just me blocking out time that I know I have like standing meetings that always happen. So that way I'm doing it one time, all done. And again, time blocking, so I know not to book anything in those spaces. So we're almost done. Again, you can change the colors, like from the color codes. This is also, you could also do a key. So like using the color schemes or the color palette that you're using, you can also do a key as well to do that, to have that in place. And this is, I'm just taking a step back and looking at everything. Got to put the dates on here. And so what I do is I just put the date like right in the corner of it. Like once I figure out the size, the font, and then once I have it the way I want it, then it's really just a copy paste. You might have to adjust the line size. I just kind of have it sitting. I like it pretty clean. I don't need any extra like circles or anything else, but that's just copy paste. So our lasso, copy and then paste. And then just going using the scribble function or the keyboard and just changing the date and times that are on there. So the only thing that, as you save all of this, and I save all of this in the element tool, so I'm going to show this pretty soon here. The only thing I have to go back and do is change the date, and that's all, once I have everything in place. Okay, battery's about to go out, but almost done. Again, so I'm just going in, so because that meeting was 2 separate meetings, so that's why that line looks different. Again, you could do a couple different things with that space right there. So some people just time block within that space. If there's something important going on during the day, I will highlight using the pen and the press and hold shapes tool, and I will highlight that whole day. Now, So I don't want those lines on it though. So I'm just going to lasso the inside of it because I don't want the lines. So I went back and deleted them, but it left the shaded part of it. So I want to be able to look at it and say visually, oh, something big is going on that day. So if I'm looking at it, I don't want to book anything, or just make sure I'm taking a double take on that. I've been using that more so than ever now. So now what we want to do is we lasso this whole section, press and hold, and you're going to add it as an element. So we'll do a new element, and we're going to call it layouts. So my weekly layouts. And so we're selecting the Sunday through Tuesday page. We're going to lasso. Now the new lasso feature would be so much easier. I don't know why I didn't do that. Add it as an element, and I'm saving it in that weekly spread. And now it's saved. So now when I go to the next week, I go to elements, I pick that spread, align it, elements, pick the spread, done. And so I'll do this for the next 4 weeks. And I usually stick to one spread. I don't have time to be changing and all that other stuff. So I'll go in and then, like I said, double tap. I'm in the text function, double tap, and go and change all the dates from there. And that's it. I mean, that's how I do my weekly spreads. And so now, again, as I'm planning, remember, this is syncing to my iPhone. So in real time. So if I need to add an appointment, I can pick up my phone and literally add it from here. Here, again, the only thing I'm really changing is the dates and that week if I'm using that calendar. But those are the only things. I do have to update the links when I do that. So how I use the little bubbles, circles to put my links over there. I do have to update those because it's a different part of the planner now because I'm on a different week. This is me adding a little aesthetics with the little butterflies, and that's all. That's all we have. And I think that was it. I'm doing the same thing with the butterflies. Again, stuff that you don't have to do. I'm just doing it really for the purpose of the video. But this helps me be productive weekly. I think it is pretty dope, though. Everything is dope with One Dope Planner. Hope this helped.